the Comedy Mothership in Austin, Texas. Have you ever been? Do you want to come out here? Ever since, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they said that this is the comedy capital of the world. And what I will say is that there's a lot of clubs popping up, little small spots where you can go and do time. But the Mothership is the centerpiece. I've been performing for 6 years now, and I've been to the Mothership maybe 7 or 8 times. One as a audience member, and the rest was either on Kill Tony, the open mic, or the time that I got a chance to go into the green room. Now, I'll give you a story about how I got an opportunity to see the insides of the Mothership. I was in Florida, and Brian Holtzman was performing at Snapper's Comedy Club down in Fort Myers. I believe it's Fort Myers. And I lived, I want to say it was like 4 hours north, like in Tampa, but a little bit further out in the country. Houses were cheaper then. And I said, you know what? I haven't seen Brian do comedy. And they say he's the comics. He's the type of person that doesn't give two shits about people's feelings in the crowd. He is there simply to entertain. So I said, I'm going to drive myself down to Fort Myers because I want to see what this is about. I drove down. As soon as I get out the car, I see Brian getting out of his car. And I'm like, hey, he's like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He was like, a fellow comedian. I was like, absolutely. He said, do you want to do some time? Oh my goodness, absolutely. I'd love to do some time. So I got a chance to do, I want to say it was 7 minutes, and it was one show only. So I got a chance to perform with Brian. Now his sister lives down in Fort Myers, so that's kind of the connection for him to perform. He said, hey, you did a great job. If you're ever in Austin, look me up. I'll show you around the Mothership. I bought a ticket that night. I fly out. I'm in Austin. I'm doing, little spots here and there. And I find his number and I message him. I'm like, hey, Brian, I'm outside. And I didn't get a response. I was like, see, you know how people are. They tell you can come in and then they don't respond. He happened to be on stage. That's why he didn't respond. I'm outside. I message him. I message him again. No response. I call. This man answers while he's on stage saying, hey, I'm literally, like, that's crazy to be in the middle of your performance and to answer your phone. But he's like, hey, let him in. He's with me, which was crazy, right? So he gets off stage. After he gets off stage, we go sit in the bar for Mitzi's. Now, this is the first time me ever really being in the venue. We sat down at Mitzi's bar right up under her picture, which was kind of cool. We sat there. We talked about comedy, about what I wanted out of comedy, about his journey in comedy. And then he was like, hey, you ready to go upstairs? Yeah, absolutely. So we go up the secret elevator. When we get up the secret elevator, boom, now we're in the hallway that leads to the green room. I go in the green room, and that's where they have the big snake table. They got pictures of all types of different things on the wall, and you can see the 2 screens where it's showing the 2 performers. One in the small room, which is called the Little Boy, and the other one, which is called the Fat Man. And in the room, it's me, Brian Holtzman, Alonzo Bolden, Genevieve Clinton, and white comic that wears a trucker hat and not Yvonne. I can't think of his name right now, but we're all sitting around and they're just talking. And at this time, when you're new, you don't want to be the guy that talks too much. So I'm just sitting back like a fly on the wall, just soaking it up. And then Alonzo Bolden asked me, hey, what's your name? And I told him my name. And he was like, what's your story? I was like, I was in the military. So then we started talking back and forth about military. And the other white comic, he was in the military. So we talked about, the just veteran shit. Just really talking about, our time in the military. And that's when I met Genevieve. And later on, a couple of months later, me and Genevieve end up working together. I brought her out to Tampa to do some shows because that was my thing. It's like bringing out comics from Austin to Tampa, and that would be my way of getting, my in. So Brian is there for, let's say, maybe 45 minutes, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna do my set in the other room, and then I'm gonna head up out of here." I'm in the balcony. There's a balcony overlooking the Fat Man, so I'm in the balcony in awe watching these comedians, which is Alonzo, Genevieve, and I can't think. But I'm watching the show, and I'm like, man, I am in the mothership in the VIP room, like watching this show. And just 2 or 3 days ago, I'm in Fort Myers, just trying to go see a show and watch Brian Holtzman perform. It was really cool to be able to be in the mothership. I really didn't even go, up the normal way, because when you walk in, you go straight in, and then you go to the right, and you go up the stairs, either left or right, whichever room you're going into. But to be able to skip all that and go up the elevator I felt, you know what I'm saying? I felt like a celebrity, like I'm supposed to be. And that gave me opportunities moving forward. I got a chance to do a couple of the open mics because of Brian Holtzman. I got a chance to meet a lot of the comedians that I've, always wanted to meet, simply because Mitch Burrow is the comedian's name. It just hit me right now, Mitch Burrow. But it gave me a chance to be able to feel the atmosphere. And I've never been to the Comedy Store, so I don't know what that looks like. They say that it is designed after, that club, and I've never been there. I've only been to the outside of it. I don't know why I've never been. I've always been afraid to try to just walk in and be part of that atmosphere. But to be able to be in the mothership, it is different. You have a different feeling. The electricity in the room, the amount of, good people that are there. There's a lot of good people that work there. And I'm excited about the future because I've only been here a year and a half. And I emailed, I'm old school. I'll go and continue to email until I get a response. So I've emailed the mothership plenty of times and asked for a job. They asked me first, "Oh, hey, are you a comedian?" Because there's a different way to get into the door if you're a comedian, from what they tell me. You got to be passed by Adam Egan. And getting up on these open mics for the mothership is a great opportunity because it's normally a sold out crowd. If not, they resell tickets and then they fill that crowd up. And they're ready to go, man. They're primed for stand up. But what I realize about that opportunity is if Adam isn't in the room, you're pretty much doing an open mic. It is a great open mic, but your goal is for Adam to see you, for someone else to see you and bring Adam in and say, "Yo, this guy, I believe he's dope." And then you get an opportunity. And from my experience, what happens is that you go up one time, you do really well, then you get tapped on the shoulder by Adam, and then he brings you back for a second opportunity. And if you do well on both of those, then you have an opportunity of becoming a regular. Now, becoming a regular for all the comics that live in Austin is kind of like what they want. It's kind of like the goal, because then you can come in and you can do time at the mothership. Getting pictures while on that stage is golden. Being able to call up the next comedian, that could be Shane Gillis, that could be Tony Rock, it could be any of comedians that have large statures or a big resume in comedy. That gives you an opportunity to now be in the same breath or in the same light. I've seen certain comedians that I've known from back in Tampa get an opportunity to perform at the mothership, and then all of a sudden is going on dates with big comedians like Russell Peters. I can't even think of any more. I just know that there's a lot. I've seen it with my own eyes. So the goal is, as a comic, you want to be a regular at the mothership. So if there's any goal for any Austin comic, or even a comic that's from out of town, if you could come into town and you could work at the mothership, that's pretty much the pinnacle of Austin. right? There's other clubs like the Creek and the Cave, there's Sunset. Those are also, and Cap City. Can't forget Cap City. These are the other three comedy clubs that you really want to get into. But the pinnacle is the Mothership. So that's my story about getting the opportunity to be at the Mothership, you know, feel like a celebrity, get a VIP band, right? And come to think of it, even after that moment, the next time that Alonzo Bolden came into town, I got a VIP wristband and was able to go back up into that top, you know, in the balcony to be able to watch the show again. I believe I belong there, and I believe eventually I will get there. You know, working on stand up and build a relationship with the people that are in that building. I eventually am going to be in that building as well. So leave it in the comments. Have you ever been to the Mothership? Do you plan on making a trip out to the Mothership? Are you interested in comedy? Have you been doing comedy for a while and you live in buttfuck Michigan and you want to come down? I would say stay in buttfuck Michigan until you have a decent amount of comedy under your belt. But we're all open arms to comedians, and those that only been doing it a year, you're gonna have to work at it because this is not an easy place for you to get, you know, noticed. All right, guys, I gotta go. Shout out to Buc-ee's. I know they ain't sponsoring yet, but this is one of my, you know, I wear this for good luck because tonight I'm going down to Austin and we're gonna do some shows. But anyway, I'll holla at y'all. Peace.